We want to attempt this Cambridge question. This is an ordinary level mathematics question taken from a June 2007 paper 1, and it is question number 1. So we need to start with 1a. 1a says evaluate 3 plus 25 divided by 2. So what we need to know before we can answer this question is this principle. Some call it BOMDAS. Some call it BODMAS. Then some also call it the law of precedence. The law of precedence. When it comes to arithmetic operations. So this is the law of precedence when it comes to arithmetic operations. When we talk about BOMDAS or BODMAS, we should understand that B stands for brackets. So when you are solving questions of arithmetics, multiplying, adding, dividing, and subtracting, when you have brackets, you should always start with brackets. That is what B stands for. Then we go to M. This M stands for multiplication. So after you have dealt with brackets, you can now deal with multiplication. And this is this M also. Then we can go to D, which stands for division. So after multiplication, you can now deal with division. This is the D. Then A stands for addition. So after multiplying and dividing, you can now deal with addition. So this is A, and also S for subtraction. When we look closely at either BOMDAS or BODMAS, we see that in this case, we start with MD. So multiplication, then division. But in this case, for BODMAS, we start with D, then M. So division, then multiplication. This shows us the interchangeability between multiplication and division. So it does not matter what you start with. Whether you start by multiplying, then you divide, or you can start by dividing, then you multiply. This similarity takes us to the law of precedence when it comes to arithmetic operations. This law states that we obviously start with brackets. So we start by solving what is in brackets first. If we have brackets, then secondly, it's either we multiply or we divide. It does not matter what you start with. If we have a situation, for example, we have a question like 2 times 3 divided by 6. It does not matter whether we start by multiplying then we divide, or we start by dividing then we multiply. Maybe let us start by multiplying. We are saying 2 times 6 we get 6 divided by 6. 6 divided by 6 becomes 1. What if we start by dividing? We are saying in this case it will be 2 multiplying 3 over 6. Then 3 into 3, that's 1. 3 into 6, it's 2. 2 into 2, it's 1. And 2 into this 2, it becomes 1. Again, the answer is 1. To prove this point, that it does not matter whether you start with multiplication or you start with division. Multiplication and division, they are at the same level when it comes to the law of precedence. After this, thirdly, you can either add or subtract. It also does not matter whether you start by adding, then you subtract, or you start by subtraction, then you add. Subtraction and addition are also at the same level when it comes to the law of precedence. Let us give an example. This is our example. Maybe we say 6 minus 3 plus 2. We need to start off by adding. So it becomes 6 minus 3 plus 2 that is minus 1. So our answer becomes 5. When we start by subtracting, 6 minus 3, that is 3, plus 2, again it becomes 5. To prove this point, that it does not matter whether you start by adding or by subtracting, or you start by subtracting, then you add. They are at the same level when it comes to the law of precedence. As a summary of what we have just discussed, we spoke of BODMAS and also BOMDAS. Defined B to represent brackets, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, then S for subtraction. Then we saw that when we have brackets, we always start by solving what is inside the bracket. After that, according to the law of precedence, we can either multiply or divide. After we have multiplied or divided, then we can add or subtract. This means, if I am to give another example, say we have this bracket 2 plus 3, then we say divided by 5 minus 2. According to the law of precedence, or BOMDAS or BODMAS, we start off by adding what is inside the bracket. So 2 plus 3, that is 5. Then 5 we divide with this 5 minus 2. What we do now is we start by dividing before we can subtract. 5 dividing into 5, that's 1. Then 1 minus 2 becomes minus 1. If you do not follow these laws, choosing either to go with BODMAS or BOMDAS or this law of precedence, you are going to get it wrong. Let us now use this knowledge, apply it to solve the question we have. So for A, it says 3 plus 25 dividing 2. This means that we should divide before we can add. So 3 plus dividing this, it's 25 over 2. So 25 divided by 2 is the same as 25 over 2. So this becomes 3 plus, we say 2 into 2, that's 1. 2 into 2 is also 1. 2 into 5, that is 2, comma, with the remainder of 1. Then we put a 0 as a placeholder. 2 into 10, that is 5. 2 dividing into 25 gives us 12, comma 5. So here it becomes 3 plus 12, comma 5. Let us now add 3 plus 12, comma 5. This is 12, comma 5 plus 3, comma, then a placeholder. And this part is very important. Many people get it wrong. When you are adding a decimal and a number, you should make sure that you convert that number into a decimal by giving it a comma and also assigning a 0, which is a placeholder in this case. If we add 5 plus 0, that is 5. 2 plus 3, that is also 5. Then the comma aligns, then 1 plus 0, it's 1. So our final answer is 15,5. What is important here is an understanding of either BODMAS, or the law of precedence when it comes to arithmetic operations. If you do not follow these laws, you get it wrong. For example, someone might have said 3 plus 25 dividing 2. So 25 plus 3, 25, 26, 27, 28. So it's 28 dividing 2. So this particular person started off by adding before dividing. A violation of either BODMAS, or the law of precedence. So now 28 divided by 2. This is 28 over 2. 2 into 2, it's 1. 2 into 2, it's also 1. 2 into 8, it's 4. So this answer would be 14. This is absolutely wrong. Why? Because of this violation. You do not start by adding when you have either multiplication or division. You follow the law of precedence. 1b. 1b is saying express 17.5% as a decimal. So this is 17.5%. Since we want to express this 17.5% as a decimal, it is advised, logically so, that we convert 17.5 into a decimal beforehand. So 17.5 becomes 17.5%. The reason why we said comma 5 is this. 17.5 becomes 17.5 because 0.5 actually means 5 over 10. Since here we have units and here we have tens. So because it's 5 over 10, 5 into 5, that's 1, 5 into 10 is 2, becomes a half. So 17.5 is 17.5. How then do we convert 17.5% into a decimal? We should understand what percent means. Actually, we can deconstruct the word percent. This is made up of two words, per and then cent. We know that the word cent is associated with the number 100. We also know that the word per means divided by. Divided by. And we can take this from physics, for example, when we say that the units of acceleration, it's meters per second squared. That is meters divided by the square of the second. The unit of velocity, it's meter per second, meter divided by second. Maybe let us use velocity just as an example. If we need to use velocity, we know that velocity equates to a change in displacement over time, of which displacement is measured in meters and time is measured in seconds. That's why the unit is meters per second, which also means meters divided by second. So if we have 17.5%, simply means 17.5 divided by 100. So 17.5%, it's 17.5 divided by 100, which then means 17.5 multiplying 1 over 100. And this is how we convert from a division sign to a multiplication sign, this transition. When we replace this division sign with the multiplication sign, we have to multiply by the reciprocal of this divisor. So 17.5 divided by 100 becomes 17.5 multiplied by 1 over 100. Now working through this is quite easy. 100 into 100, that's 1. 100 into 17, it's 0, a remainder of 17 which comes before this 5. It becomes 100 into 175, it's 1. With a remainder of 75, then a placeholder of 0. 100 into 750, that is 7. A remainder of 50 with another placeholder, then 100 into 500, that is 5. To eventualize into 0.175. This is the final answer. What I want you to take home with is this. If any number is expressed as a percent, for example, 50%, you need to convert it back into just a number. You just have to divide this 50 with 100. So it becomes 50 over 100 and the answer is 1/2, which we can write as 0.5. So this is it. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments section. If you have any other ordinary level mathematics questions, you can also post them in the comments section. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe, share, and like. Thank you.